Shalom and welcome to Challenging Torah, a project of the Malibu Jewish Center and Synagogue. Our portion begins with the word Ekev. Ekev tishma'un et kol hamishpatim ha'eleh. If only you will give heed to all of these judgments and keep my commandments and do them, obey them. That's the usual translation. But we know that the word Ekev also means heal. And if only we could translate it, you put your foot down. You walk in my ways. We know that halacha, which is Jewish law, is how do you walk and how are you walking? And God is saying, if only you walk in the ways that I give you, you will prosper and be blessed. And the Lord will love you and bless you and multiply you. Only if you will listen. Not just follow the rules, but listen and obey and love with all your heart and soul and might. And so Moses reminds them that it's not enough just to obey the rules and grumble about it, which they're very good at grumbling, but to remember and listen and have a heart that's filled with gratitude for all that we've been given. 40 years, Moses reminds them, you walked through the desert, and your foot did not swell, and your clothing did not wear out. There weren't a lot of shopping opportunities. We're to be grateful for what we do have in our lives. The text tells us, for the Lord brings you to a good land, a land of brooks, of water, of fountains, and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, and vines and fig trees, and pomegranates, a land of olives and honey, a land where you will eat bread without stint, and you shall not lack a thing, a land whose stones are iron, and whose hills will give you bronze. Everything you want. Just remember to say thank you. And so we have the words that are then incorporated into what we call the Birkat HaMazon, our gratitude after every meal that we eat. Because when you have eaten your fill, you shall bless the Lord your God for all the good land that he has given you. But, the text tells us, and Moses reminds us, beware, lest you think that you, by your own power, brought all this abundance. Quote, and when your herds and flocks multiply, and your silver and gold are multiplied, and you have multiplied, and you say in your heart, my power and my hand has gotten me this wealth. I'm a self-made man. Really? How did you get here? Who gave you these raw materials? Yes, of course, you've been given an intelligence. Where'd that come from? Remember to give thanks and pat yourself a little less on the back and offer up thanks a little more. Otherwise, as God says, we will turn off this spigot of abundance. Now, Israel, what does the Lord require of you? Moses asks, but that you fear the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to love him, because it's yir'ah that is fear, but yir'ah that is awe, the ahava and love, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Therefore, circumcise the foreskin of your heart. That is an amazing metaphor. The thickening that's around our heart that doesn't allow us to see and really relate to the people around us. It's all about me. Maybe it's not. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and therefore love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Remember the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. Wow. Pope Francis. I never thought I'd be quoting the Pope. Pope Francis, in the last few weeks, gave an encyclical that upset a lot of people. Why doesn't the Pope just pay attention to religion? And why is he messing around with politics? As he talked about global warming. But this encyclical that links morality and our conditions on the planet goes all the way back to Torah. In fact, it's so important that the sages made it the third paragraph of the Shema, right after the Shema and the Yahavta. It's really the second paragraph. And it says, V'haya im shamoa tishma'u. If you will listen, you have to listen first, Shema. And it shall come to pass that if you give heed diligently, it's translated, to my commandments which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and serve him with all your heart and all your soul, that I will give you rain in your season. The first rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your grain, your wine, your oil. But if you turn aside and do not follow my ways, then the Lord's anger will be kindled against you, and he will close the skies, and there will be no rain, and the land yielded not her fruit, lest you perish quickly from the good land which the Lord gives you. For years I rejected this paragraph. In fact, the entire Reconstructionist movement gives you two choices in our prayer book. So you don't have to say this one. You say something a little more vague. And now, at this moment of global warming and a drought, we've begun to understand that our actions vis-a-vis fossil fuels, vis-a-vis the poor of this planet, those who have huge corporate profits at the expense of the very land that we stand on, the poisoning of our oceans due to indiscriminate use of chemicals and runoffs, and I could go on. You all know this already. Climate change is real. Morality is real. If you follow my ways and give the land its rest, tithe, take care of the poor, be conscious of your footprint on the land, then we will, quote as they end, enter in peace, and every place you put your foot will be yours. That's how the portion ends. Let's watch how we walk. We're at a time of tremendous change. Shabbat Shalom.